Yeah, D-A-T-S-C-A.
Wake up, homeboy. Wake up, homeboy. I didn't mean to hit you that hard. I tell you what, to anybody out there that's talking shit, okay, hasn't happened for a while, but know this: I'm 6'3", 280 pounds, and I'm fast as fuck. Okay, I have hand speed that will disappear on you and knock you out, like I did Bon the Pool, who was 255 pounds, a Samoan, and I broke his collarbone. So think about about how hard I can hit, before you make the mistake of taking my kindness for weakness and thinking that you're going to get over on me. It won't happen, okay? For one thing, I'm a legend in Sacramento County among the criminals, okay, that know me. No shit, for many different reasons. Baron Chapman, what's up, homeboy, in the Art and Arcade area? I'll put your name in the tags, and hopefully you're still alive. You have cancer, okay? But Baron was the bad boy for that area, okay? What's up, Butch Hinkle? Okay, I'll put your name in the tags too. You're a cool motherfucker. Were you guys surprised when I beat Baron's ass easily? I could have fucked him up, but I chose not to. And yeah, people make a mistake and think that I'm blonde, blue-eyed, and I'm soft, and I'm a savage. Okay, I have Maitreya. Can you see that right there? That big belly is decreasing, and I'm living in a house where the diet makes people fat. Isn't that right, brother? Isn't it right? The diet makes people fat? Okay. Can you hear that? He said, yeah. It tastes good, but it's fattening, and I'm sitting on my ass, and I'm inadvertently eating like a pig, and I'm still losing weight. It's because I'm on massive amounts of stevia. To the few who use stevia, you're using tiny little bits, and I'm saying use a lot of stevia, okay? The more you use, the better you feel, okay? It takes you to another level. It cleans you out. It cleans your bowels out. For the first 5-6 days, you're shitting up a fucking toxically foul-smelling storm and feeling better and better, okay? Each time you shit, okay? Losing 20 plus pounds the first month you're on it, because Americans have up to 20 to 25 pounds of backed up shit in their bodies, I read in an article. And that's because the rich who own this country want us to get sick. They make lots of money off of sickness, okay? And it's a way to suppress society, to keep people down, worried about holding a job with insurance in case you do get sick, okay? Because everybody's getting sick. And I discovered how to cure that using stevia, okay? And I also discovered that stevia, Elon Musk, turns water into a fucking fuel. And I was just telling my friend Kamua about my uncle dying in Mexico, okay, in a car accident, and me having a friendship with the guys who ran Nuestra Familia, one of the Spider, I was friends with Richard Duran. Before that, I was at RCCC, and I had an Arteno come up to me and say, hey, Holmes, if the beeps, the blacks, the N-word go after you, know the Norteño's got your back. Do you realize in prison politics the magnitude of the North throwing their weight behind a white boy? Okay? What happened was, and I'm not prejudiced, what happened was I was sleeping in Purple Dorm because I worked nights, and I gave out clothes to everybody that was coming in. Okay? I saw some black shirts, and, if I had a photographic memory, we catalog that. If I was part of the Norteño Nation, okay, we would catalog that, who they were, and put it out. Because you never know. You know what I'm saying? You never know. And, yeah, anyways, there was a brother, I can't remember his name, but you know how brothers play dominoes and they, come on, you ever seen blacks play dominoes?
Yeah.
Slamming the dominoes down, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's part of their culture, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And only problem was he was doing it 2 bunks away from where I was sleeping, and it was out of place. Okay, no one plays dominoes there. They go outside or they go to the table. Okay, but he was doing it on purpose to fuck with me, and I knew this, and so I asked him politely to stop, and he didn't. And I said, "Homeboy, know this. I'm a professional fighter, okay? If you fucking don't stop, I'm gonna get off this bunk and I'm gonna fuck you up." And he moved. And instead of letting it go, okay, putting his tail between his legs, he turned it into a racial thing. And so I had the blacks and the whites come up to me and say, "Hey, is there a problem?" When I got transferred to white dorm, which was a promotion, because I went to the cooks. I had access to the storage area, and actually was part of a inside heist where we got Kool-Aid packets, 5 gallons. No sugar needed. All you got to do is add water. Do you realize what a gold mine that was? Locked up. We ate like kings, okay? But point is, I had grumpy Norteño, okay, from Sacramento, I believe, Yeah, come up to me and say, "Hey, if the niggers jump off, know this, the Norteño's got your back. Watch out, don't get into the video."
Okay.
Okay. Anyhow, yeah, I'm a legend behind bars. I've been in, where was I? I was in Home Depot. I'll be right back. I'm gonna get a cigarette. I was in Home Depot and I heard, honey, this is the guy. And he was pointing at me and he had a fine wife, okay? And what he was referring to was me shutting Red Dorm, okay? Run by the blacks, shutting the blacks down, okay? When I did this, I was shaving and Rob, the black head houseman, came into the bathroom and he started yelling at the newbies that were standing in the doorway, threatening to get our yard shut off. Okay, it's happened, and barking at him, and then he turned my way, okay, and barked, and I'm like, "Are you talking to me?" And he said, "I sure am." And I walked up to him, I said, "Say it again, I'm gonna fuck you up, punk." And he didn't do a thing. He went back to his side with his brother friends. So I went to my bunk, laid down, and I heard mumbling, grumbling, what they should do, could do, okay? You know what I'm saying? And finally I had enough. I was reading a book, and I stood up, took my shirt off, walked into the aisleway, into the thoroughfare, started stretching, and I said, "If anybody has a problem, you step the fuck up and let's handle this." And I was looking fucking yoked, okay? 6'3", 235 pounds, solid. I was doing a lot of methamphetamine back in those days. Didn't have a lot of fat on my body, and didn't have Stevia in my corner. Anyways, none of the blacks stood up, and there was a power shift, okay? The dynamics of interactions between blacks and whites changed. No longer were they pushing up on the whites like they do, okay? Especially in jail, because most of the time the solid woods are on the other side of the fence with the convicts, and the newbies that are white are fucking soft and could be taken advantage of. 59J, what's up, homeboy? I love your videos, and I subscribe, and I'm putting messages saying, look, if you find me a terminal cancer victim, I'll cure him using Stevia. I stake my life on it, okay? Put stevia in water and blend, and you'll see a shitload. As a matter of fact, hold on for 1 second. I'm gonna go get what I'm talking about, and I'll show you. See this cup of water? See how full it is? It's about a third of the way, okay? There's stevia in there, and what I'm gonna do is blend it up, and it's gonna change into a natural gas right before your eyes. And this white bubbly soup, like Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory, can actually power engines, okay? They run cars off of water right now. The powers that be, the petroleum cartel, just don't want you to know it. Can you see that? That's $1 trillion in the future discovery, okay? It's mine. I filed for a patent on it. I don't have the money to file for a full patent. I will, okay? But I'll set that right there, and you'll see water start to form on the bottom, and it'll slowly rise, and then it will virtually stop, but not stop completely, and there'll be a huge layer of toxic soap, okay? Get all that soap out of water, it turns it into pure H2O, and pure H2O has done the following. It's brought a 17-year-old cat that was skeleton thin on her last legs, sneezing blood bubbles at the vet. One of the tumors in her throat had burst. One of her cancerous tumors in her throat had burst. And she was about to be put to sleep. And I said, oh no, Mom, this is the perfect opportunity. I'm gonna bring Peachy back into perfect health. Let's clean her up, take her home, love her, okay? She doesn't need to die today, okay? Give me a chance. And what I did is, can you see? There's a huge layer of soap. That's all the warning, danger, caution, toxic, will kill you chemicals that we pour down the sink and the drain every day in America, because the rich have chosen to use petroleum as the go-to for everything, for powering cars, for making our clothes, for making our medications that don't work, okay? We're living in a constructed hell that doesn't have to be like that, okay? What we need is a hero that has money to say, you know what? Enough. This shit's gonna stop. And I'm that guy. With my connections to the criminal underworld, if I was a billionaire, the things I could fucking do and not get caught. I could virtually eliminate child molestation and rape by targeting individuals who were convicted of it and culling them from the human herd. All right? That shit has to stop. And with enough money, There's enough criminals out there that would jump at the chance to eradicate filth. What's up, Spider? Nuestra Familia. Florence, Colorado. ADX Supermax. Cool as fuck. I think about the tale you tell me. Not the tale. The story. What happened in the past. You got together with your friends, smoking weed, having deep thoughts, thinking about how things could be better. Through change and the creation of Nuestra Familia, you know, a break from the South and the North. You were there and you told me that I could hook up with your guy when I got out. I fucked up and should have made the connection, even though I didn't take advantage of it, okay? Just so it was there in case down the road I wanted to actually make a move. Anyhow, let's go back to the story of my uncle handcuffing me to a tree for 4.5 hours when I'm 8 to 12 years old at a family party. I think I was 12 because I was tall enough to reach a branch that I think is way too tall for an 8-year-old. Anyways, I stand on my tiptoes and put my hands up in cuffs, and they tell me they're gonna let me go. In 4.5 hours, I'm in tears, and the family finds me, and no one calls the cops. If Fred Riva was arrested back then, he would have had to be put in a PC cell because he was a child fucking abuser, okay? He would have gotten fucked up. Anyways, he dies in Mexico, and many things happen in Mexico. Both good and bad, but a lot of bad, especially the people who have it coming to them. How hard would it have been? How hard would it be to actually make contact with people that had ties with Mexicans and track Fred Riva's movements during a off-road race and create a car accident that killed him? Okay? Anybody ever seen The Killer Elite? It's called The Assassins on YouTube when I'm watching it. And it's about killing people and making it look like an accident so no one questions. Did I have anything to do with Fred Riva's death? I don't think so. But you never know. Because when I talk, people have a tendency to listen. And Steven Seagal, here's a question. If you were at Juanita's, okay, a fabulous Mexican restaurant, a little hole in the wall down in Encinitas, California, and you're at the counter waiting for your food and you got bumped, okay, and you looked and there was 2 guys, one behind, one there, you look and there's 2 guys standing there and they're fucking ready to go. They're there to kick your ass, okay? What would you do? What I did, all right, and this is the inception, Dana White, of the bad boy, is I launched a vicious fucking elbow behind me that caught dude in the jaw, and from reports it broke it and it sent him to the hospital and he was knocked out, okay? All of a sudden there's not 4 guys that are attacked, there's 3 guys that are like, what the fuck? And with my lightning hand speed and devastating punching power, Cibon Lapua, broken collarbone, I knocked 3 guys out, boom, boom, boom. There's 4 guys on the ground, okay? And my friends were like, what the fuck? Pete Carroll, Jim McCrans, and I believe Scott Cosman. Hello, gentlemen. It's been a long time. When I'm a billionaire, I'm gonna pay off your houses, buy you a car, and put $100,000 in your bank account. Just because I can, and I want to pay it forward. Anyhow, we get up to leave, and coming into Juanita's is a couple from New York. And the male says, "What the fuck is going on?" And we're like, "It's none of your business." And he said, "I'm making it my business." And I said, "Oh, really?" And I launched her right hand and put him to sleep, okay? And what I should have done is looked at this woman. I didn't have the violin back then. 59J, okay? Miracle number one. How much is the orgasm to a female worth, okay? Since my vision at Notre Dame 35 years ago was to end slavery, female slavery has to end, okay? And so what I'm going to do with billions and trillions of dollars is make it either free or so easily affordable for women to get homes if they have one kid and then have their tubes cut, okay? We have to end overpopulation on Earth. We're killing it. We're like lemmings, okay? Reproducing furiously and then running over a cliff by fucking burning up our water in cars and planes and trains and everything else that runs off petroleum. What are trains? Are they? I don't even know. I'll find out. Anyhow, we're vanishing water. We're using petroleum to toxify this planet in every fucking way, shape, and form possible. Just the smog out the exhaust, the environment, beautiful sunsets in LA caused by smog. It's insidious. People love the sunset, but they sure as hell don't like smog. And they don't realize that the hydrogen inside their gasoline is being fried and turned into dust, gone, invalidating Einstein's theory that nothing ever vanishes. Einstein had a 167 IQ. When I was 8 years old, Craig Tusher, I tested out at 154, okay? And that's when I had the mice experiment happen in front of me. I saw 2 mice turn into hundreds of mice, and 2 mice, they were gentle creatures, okay? Hundreds of mice in a habit trail, in 4 habit trails put together, they went to war. It was fucking incredible. I would take babies out and reduce the population. I would sell them, okay? And I would take mice out and sell them to the pet store, and it saved the babies from getting eaten by males who went berserker. And I told you about this the night before we played Lincoln and Steve Taylor, and we shook hands on the premise that if you took my idea to Princeton, okay, and they used it, if you became a big-time millionaire, you would owe me $5 million. And we shook hands on that. And I'll pass the lie detector, and you're a deacon of the Mormon church, and you probably have as much recall as I do of the facts I just laid out. You owe me $5 million, Craig. I'll tell you what, let's wipe that debt. Find me a terminally ill Mormon, okay? And what we'll do, a terminally ill from cancer or diabetes Mormon, and what we'll do is we'll get them on Stevia, lots of it, a pound a month, and we'll use a blender to get all the toxins out of their water. And what you could do with this little demonstration here is use a straw to hit the pure H2O, to hit $1 billion fucking idea, and drink it up, and start shooting up a storm, and have your body go down to perfect, okay? I haven't done that yet. I've been drinking water with stevia, and I'm still losing weight. My belly's going down. Trust and believe it, okay? I was 291 when I got in here, and I'm 275, okay? I've lost 16 pounds, and I'm sitting on my ass, and like I said, I'm eating a diet that would make people fat, and it's doing it. It's putting on weight to everybody that's in the house. Anyhow, yeah, find me a terminally ill Mormon or somebody you know. Maybe they're not Mormon. I'll cure them, and you'll see the results, and you'll get excited because you'll see a way to use what money you have to make a lot more, building big blenders in every city across the United States and eventually the world, blending all the toxins out of water that are killing this planet and making people sick, straight up, okay? And we can get backing from governments to subsidize these endeavors because we're actually cleaning up the environment, Joe Biden, and making the world as close to Eden as we can if we stop using petroleum, which is against everything the petroleum cartel that runs shit stands for. Look at that. That's friendship and that's respect. Okay? Yeah, a legend. Me shutting Placer County Jail down when they illegally arrest me. Yeah, I called 911. I'll tell you what, to every criminal out there, it's not the end of the world. It's okay to call 911 if you're covering your bases and trying to make things safe, okay? You know what I'm saying? So you don't want to go to jail. Or calling 911 to get a restraining order on a psychotic methamphetamine addict bitch that just stabbed my landlord in the hand and drew blood so he has a bandage on it. And I saw that and I'm like, oh, fuck this. I've heard this bitch threaten to kill him. I've heard many things. She's threatened me when I try to check her. And I'm like, we got to get rid of this cunt. And so what I did after I saw the stabbing, the after effects of the stabbing, a bloody hand and a bandage, I called 911 and I was going to try to get a restraining order on this cunt, get her the fuck out, and possibly work out a deal to lower my rent if I allowed her back in the fucking vicinity after getting a restraining order. I was thinking about all these different angles. Anyhow, the cop comes out and I said, officer, I can't remember what I said to him, but it wasn't anything to do with the case. It was about something else. And his response was, shut the fuck up, I'll get to you in a second. And I said, oh no, motherfucker, it's not gonna go down like that. You're out here to see Dan Quinn. I'm Dan Quinn, I'm a citizen. My taxes pay your fucking salary. You're in effect working for me, okay? As of this moment, you made contact, and it's not gonna happen like that. What I want you to do is call your superior and have him come down here and give you some on-the-job fucking training on how to deal with the public, okay? And so, after everything ensued, and the following was 4 cop cars pulling away from the house or the apartment I was staying in, and instead of keep my mouth shut, all right, I said, and don't fucking come back unless I call you. And they went, they stopped and have a little conference, and they come back and arrest me, okay, for nothing. I knew I was in the right, and I knew they were legally wrong. And so I was telling the female cop that if I put my mouth on her pussy, I would take her to 100 orgasms an hour, and she would forget forever her boyfriend, her husband, and fall in love with me, okay? And I said a lot of things. And when I got to Placer County, they stripped me down in boxes and put me in a restraints in a very cold room and left me for hours. And then to the point where they put me near a drain and they were trying to make me piss my pants. And I can't remember the name of the officer. He was a sergeant something. But Bryce Peeler from Grass Valley, who was a legend, knows who the fuck I'm talking about, knows where he lives. And I was telling him that he's fucking with the wrong guy, okay? That I'm a future Nobel Prize winner. And not only that, if I put my mouth on his wife's pussy, she would fucking forever leave him after I took her to 100 orgasms and made up for what he wasn't doing, okay, in the many years they'd been together. And I said a lot of things to him, and then I was released from jail because I had done nothing wrong. And I went down to Herb Akers, the master of a fucking healed body, all right, fixing things with pain in his thumbs on your back, your legs, your neck, okay? Put it like this. If you go to Dr. Herb Akers, the more pain you can take, the better you feel, all right? It's a trip, but it fucking works. Like magic, Jamie Hara. Isn't that right? You went to Herb, and he actually took a knee that needed surgery to a point where you didn't have to go into surgery, and you had a fight instead of being on the sidelines. Isn't that right? Anyways, I went to Herb Akers for the first time, and I got a call on the phone on the way to Herb's place from a female cop that said this: I know they tortured you. I'm sick of this shit, okay? I didn't go to UC Davis for this. Come out to Starbucks and I'll help you, okay? And I'm like, thinking, Starbucks in Placer County or Starbucks in a neutral zone where they don't have any authority. And she said, oh, don't be stupid, okay? I'm here to help you, okay? Come out to Starbucks. It was on, I can't remember which road, but it was in Roseville off the freeway. Anyhow, I walk into Starbucks. I don't see any female cop. I don't see any cop cars in the parking lot. And I think she hasn't arrived yet. And I go up, I buy 2 drinks, and I go to the bathroom. And as soon as I open the door, undercover police tackle me and arrest me, because what they had done is they had run my record deep, and they saw a never happened fictional attempted murder on a police officer out of Miami in 1991 that never made it to court because it didn't happen, all right? And what they did is they arrested me, and they fucking were gonna charge me with gassing, all right, after the fact. Now, if I spit on a cop, they would never let me go in the first place, but they were gonna lie even more than they already do. Spider and every criminal out there. I knew I had him at this point, okay? Because there's no reason for a second arrest, okay? They had no basis, okay? They had violated my rights. I should have been a millionaire back then by getting an attorney. Anyhow, I'm motherfucking the cops the entire time. I'm in the single cell prison pod where I shouldn't have been in the first place, becoming friends at the time with a Black Panther and with guys that were somebody, all right? There could have been PCs in there. I wouldn't know. I didn't talk to them. Anyhow, vertical leaping onto the tables, leading the inmates in cheers, chants of fuck the police. Fuck the police. And they told me to lock it down, and I didn't. And as soon as they came to the door with dogs, I got off the table and I went into my cell, and when their door cracked, I shut my door. And what they did is they sent me to Folsom Ad Seg prison for 3.5 months, where I met Jeff Scott. What's up, Jeff? I'll tell you what, when I'm rich, just because I'll buy you a house, a car, and give you $100,000 because you were cool as fuck and you never had a chance in life. And I don't know how smart you are, but I know you're not dumb. We had a lot of conversations, and yeah, if you had been born to money, you wouldn't have all the tats on you, and you wouldn't be in prison, okay? You'd probably be running a company somewhere. So we'll give you a chance. And that's damages in front of a jury, okay, for an illegal arrest. Anyhow, where was I going? Yeah, the legend behind bars. You know, knocking Sack Maniac Taz out on 8 West 200 pod in front of the North and the Northern Mexicans, okay? Everybody was at their window expecting a knife fight, all right? Word had spread, okay? Guys weren't in their bunks. They were fucking expecting a show. And I thought if I allow Taz to go in a cell with Bryce Peeler, I'm going to get charged with accessory to murder because Taz made a knife that would dent you and draw blood but would do no damage. And Bryce was methodically sharpening his fucking knife to the point where he was going to kill. Okay? He thought that his life was over anyway. He was looking at 35 years and thought, what the fuck? Let's take a ride for life. Okay? And make a name. You know what I'm saying? So I saved Taz's life by, when the door cracked, this is to 59J and to every criminal out there, when the door cracked, I opened the door all the way against the wall. And I stepped out, I pivoted, and I put my foot on the door jamb, keeping it open. And I was looking at Taz, and I was going like this, and I was ready. If he came through, I was going to knock him out. And he made 3 half-hearted attempts like he was going to come through, and then backed off, and then said, fuck it. And he called me a punk, and I said, oh, fuck that. Or a bitch. I can't remember. One of the two. And so what I did is I started stalking him. Even though he had a knife in his hand, I figured I saw the knife. It was blunt, and I would take a dent to land the right hand and knock him out. And so Taz fucked up because he didn't beforehand designate a minder for his knife in case the cops came in. They could get rid of it and flush it, and it wouldn't be evidence used against the Mexicans. Somehow, Taz threw the knife, came up, and got knocked out. He wasn't KO'd. He was on Queer Street, sitting on his ass, out of it, okay? I could have taken his win had it been a real level 4 yard, but I chose not to. Actually, with as much fucking training as I have, I could have killed Taz by fucking breaking his neck, okay? Getting him in a fucking chokehold and fucking the end. But I chose not to. And the cops came in and fucking everybody got down on the ground and they took me out and put me in a single cell. And Bryce Peeler, who, like I said, is a legend up in Grass Valley because he's a methamphetamine cook, retired now, and he was at the top of the food chain, okay? He was a god. And Bryce told me that the Mexicans were chanting my name and the blacks were chanting my name, Dan Quinn, for 2 hours after I was gone. Straight up, okay? It was also a Pruno fucking weekend, I believe, and so everybody was drunk. And Snubs, what's up to the Oak Park Bloods and to Oak Park Zilla? What's up, my nigga? You're a cool motherfucker, and I like you a lot. When you said my nigga, remember what I said? I said, oh, wow. I feel like I'm a made guy, homeboy. But would it be racial? Would you view it racial if I said the same thing, my nigga? And he said, no, man, you're my nigga too, you know? Something like that. Anyway, when I'm rich, I'll give you $100,000, a car, and a house, and a fucking job, just because. And when I talk about being rich, see how small that white soap has gotten? It'll crash back down to looking like water, and people are drinking and they're getting sick. But get it out, it'll cure, and it'll cure again. And I don't know how many times it'll take to cure people before I ask a bank for a loan of $30 billion based on projected future sales of a liquid that acts like the Fountain of Youth. That's where the money's going to come from. All right? I'm not talking shit. I'm going to back up everything I said. I'm going to fucking hunt. I won't be there, but I'm going to hunt child rapists and sex offenders and eliminate them, and word will spread, and eventually that shit will stop. Yeah. So we're at 40 minutes now. Yeah. Fact, not fiction. The only people that can fuck with me and get away with it physically are superior athletes and professional fighters. And I don't have anything to worry about superior athletes and professional fighters because I'm a cool motherfucker, and everybody that meets me, they agree, okay? Everybody who's cool that meets me agrees, all right? What's up, Andy Elliott, ex-Hell's Angel, Big Red? Remember that time when we were at your house and there were machine guns and we were getting ready because you thought the Hell's Angels were coming to get you, and your daughter was using me as a fucking jungle gym, and you tripped out because she's usually kind of afraid of men, but she could sense in me that I'm different. Animals and kids love me, straight up. And people that are bad, they fucking fear me because I'll fuck them up. And if they're really bad, I might talk to some people and eliminate them. How hard is it? The easiest way to get to somebody, a man, is through a woman, all right? And if a woman knew what a piece of shit this guy was, and if she was, let's say, a hooker that didn't mind giving up her pussy because she was getting paid for it, luring him into a sense of self-security, and putting him in a position to where he falls asleep at the wheel and drives his car into a tree and it bursts into flames and there's no forensic evidence to point to anything else than user error. How hard would it be to fucking eliminate people that you didn't want, culling them from the human herd? How about starting companies that pay 95% of profit back to the people who make it, spreading the wealth, instead of paying 90% up to trillionaires and billionaires, okay, who don't deserve it and have more than enough, and they're fucking evil because they're part of the faction that I think is actually trying to kill this planet. I think what's going on, David Brin, is aliens touched down and poured pyramids like concrete. Look it up. New evidence suggests that those perfect fucking bricks weren't actually chiseled. With the technology we have today, we couldn't chisel. We couldn't even make a pyramid, okay, without fucking it up somehow. Straight up. That's how advanced human civilization is. But they certainly couldn't do it with fucking pickaxes and chisels, all right? It's not going to happen. Anyhow, aliens sit down, pour pyramids, and hunt down every woman that was in charge of the human herd, eliminate them, and put men in charge. And in a little over 2,000 years, we've just about killed this planet, taking it from an Eden-like existence physically, not socially, and turn it into a cesspool that has massive die-offs of fish in the ocean because of toxins. And think about all the stories you've heard, okay? We're fucking killing this planet. It's not going to last forever, and it could, all right? And I was touched by a golden halo of energy that I firmly believe was part of an alien conspiracy, David Brin. I saw aliens when I was 8 years old. I was asleep in my bed and I heard a thump that woke me up, and I sat up in my bed and I looked through the doorway and I saw 3 aliens, short, all right? They were grayish green, more gray than green. There was a green hue on their suits, okay? But they were gray, and they were scurrying over the couch, heading toward the storm windows that were over the fireplace, and their beeline was from our mom's room, all right? And the alien looked at me, and I was like, oh, they're real. And I had read hundreds of books at 8 years old, okay? I was a voracious reader to the point where I had the reading and writing skills of a senior in college when I was a freshman in high school. Anyhow, I had read many books on aliens, and I was like, oh, they're real, okay? And I think what they did, David Brin, is they used that thing that was in that box to hardwire my mom to never defend me, okay? Against my uncle, against Notre Dame, against anything. Because in her mind, because she whipped me with Hot Wheel tracks and was abusive, I'm broken, and therefore I'm not in the right, okay? I need to be fixed. I love my mom, but facts are facts. Anyhow, I'll go to 50 minutes. Why don't I go to 60 minutes? Why not take this hour? My hour video has many more hits than any other one that I have, okay? So you've been listening to me. Where was I, brother? Were you paying any attention?
Yeah, talking about the views of the pyramids.
Talking about the pyramids, talking about aliens.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, for people that don't think they're aliens, look at it like this. Every star that you see in the sky is a sun like ours with many planets around it. Okay? With the billions of stars there are, it's inconceivable that there isn't another form of life out there. And they've landed before, they've crashed before, okay? And the government fucking swooped in and swooped it up. And they don't tell anybody about it, but then we come out with all this fucking high-tech industry, okay? A lot of it is based on alien shit, okay? Like cell phones and bees and nature. The energy from cell phones and from the wireless and everything that's fucking electric, okay, invisible to the eye. I think what it's doing is fucking up their navigation systems so they're not finding it home and they're dying off. And that's a problem because if there's no bees, there's no pollination, crops die, humans die, and that's part of the game. You know what? Everything we use is fucking shit up. Everything, okay? You can't go, you know how hard it is to go to a store and actually find something healthy? You have to go to a health food store, pay premium prices when they should be offering that for 10% above cost or something like that. There should be a law that there's only so much profit off of the necessities of life. Now, things like cell phones and the luxuries, you know what? That's a whole nother area of battle, you know, in Congress. But for food and for shelter, no one should be homeless. Do you realize how many homes are sitting vacant because people with money have more than one and they're selling it and there's no one in there and it's not going to use? Do you know how many people are on the street that are starving and dying? Okay? It's a national fucking tragedy and embarrassment. And I think that America has it worse than anywhere else in the world. Every other country, I believe, has some kind of program to eradicate that. But Americans, the rich, they don't give a fuck, okay? But what do you expect from a country that actually elects a rapist like Donald Trump to president, okay? That's an embarrassment in and of itself. He's a fucking rapist. He's gonna go to prison and he'll be PC because he was an ex-president or is an ex-president. But even if he wasn't an ex-president, he would have to be PC because He has a fucking damn near rape conviction, okay? Paying $5 million for whatever he did to that woman, okay? Inmates don't like that shit, all right? I've met more stand-up guys behind bars and on the criminal world than on the other side of the fence, okay? You want to know why? Because you don't get taken to court on that side of the fence where the criminals are. You get fucked up or killed if you don't keep your word or you screw up, all right? And the Mexicans are a perfect example of cleaning house and taking fucking care of business. That's why, Spider, if I was a billionaire, what I like to do is divert millions of dollars to hire Norteños and Serranos and Crips and Bloods to do things in their communities that are good and that are needed to get done, all right? Because I know that if they were paid enough, that things would be done, okay? Many things. Like I said, revert back to eliminating fucking child rapists and sex offenders because we had to get rid of that shit, all right? It's a cancer in and of itself that is visited upon kids who many times do it themselves. You know what? It's insidious, and it has to stop. Nine more minutes. Yeah. So what humanity needs is a hero. I'm that guy, okay? On a level 4 yard, I snatched fucking Taz like that, all right? If we had knives in our hands, he would have been dead. As bad as they fucking come, and I'm brilliant. And if I'm rich, that's a dangerous combination for the people that are in power now, because I will change things. That's part of my vision, and it's going to happen. I'm going to use billions of dollars in profit and put it back. The economy is like a garden, and to have it flourish, it has to be sprinkled, watered with money to make it go. And what's happening is there's an accumulation of wealth, and the lake is running dry. Okay, we have to spread the wealth, and the rich aren't doing that, and it has to stop. So if you're with me this far, my number is 760-809-1744. That's 760-809-1744. My name is Dan Quinn. I'm a future Nobel Prize winner. I'm a future billionaire, okay? And I'm a badass, okay? The bad boy, Dana White, I knocked 5 guys out, and Boogaloo, who drew the bad boy, all right, the original artist that created it, he told me at a party in front of Pete Carroll that I was his inspiration, all right? I had a crew cut, I'm blonde, and that's a fact, okay? So you fucking telling TMZ that I threatened to kill you, okay? And putting up a video or an audio recording of an English or an Irish accent threatening to kill you and saying it's me, okay? And TMZ ran that. I'll tell you what, Dana, when I'm rich, I'm gonna legally fuck you up, straight up. It won't be hard. I'll start a fucking penultimate fighting championships. And triple the fucking salaries, the purses for the fighters, and pay forward 90 to 95% of all the profit from pay-per-view to the fighters, and to not just the fighters in a cage, but to the fighters that help them fucking get to where they're going, spreading the wealth, okay? It'll put you guys out of business. And what I'm going to do, Joe Rogan, because you clown me on your fucking podcast, and you said, yeah, Dana Quinn, Stevia, you know, taking spaceships to the moon, something like that. I'm gonna legally fuck you up. I heard Diego Sanchez, Diego Sanchez, give you a call telling you about Stevia, about how it cured Sonoma and how it was a miracle. And he mentioned my name, and you didn't do a thing about it. You didn't pay it forward. You were a cock blocker instead of a facilitator of good. I'm going to do everything that I can legally and use you as an example because you didn't help me, okay? And I'm going to legally fuck you up, like I said. And you being a black belt in jiu-jitsu, I'll tell you what, homeboy, you couldn't fucking budge me. You couldn't bust a grape on me on the ground, all right? I've had black belts like Jamie Hara try to choke me out. I gave him my neck, and he couldn't do it. And he said, Dave better not fuck with him on the ground, referring to Dave Huckabee. What's up, Dave? Did you know that I'm fucking retard strong, okay? Jamie couldn't fucking choke me out. I knocked Bonapool out, broke his collarbone, and you talk all this fucking shit and didn't seek me out for a fight after I came back after having shoulder surgery, okay? But I slandered your name. You know what? I'm not going to do anything to you, okay? What I'd probably do, because so many people look up to you, is give you a house, a car, and $100,000 and try to flip you to being on my side, okay? Money talks. Yeah, money talks. Money is the essence of evil. If Jesus didn't like money and attacked the moneylender's table, okay, there's something to be said, all right? He knew it was no good. It's the essence of slavery, okay? Those that have wealth treat those that don't have it like slaves, and they get away with it, okay? And so what I would like to do with trillions of dollars is to try to build a society that was egalitarian, everybody was equal, and there was no wealth, okay? Things didn't cost. Things shouldn't cost. It's unfair to those who were born later, all right, for those who were born before them to own property, okay, and treat them like slaves. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, this whole thing. I've had a lot of time to think about it. Like I said, when I was at Notre Dame in 1987, what is that? 1987, 97, 207, 17, 23, that's 35 years. I had a vision. It was a golden halo. It enveloped me, and it forced me to my knees, and it filled my brain with a vision of ending slavery, ending women's slavery to men. And it didn't tell me how I was going to do that. And then many years later, about 15 years ago or so, when I started putting up videos on YouTube, I put a bunch of stevia into a full blender full of water, turn it on, or shut the lid, turn it on, and turn my back, and I heard the blender start to struggle, and it was moving side to side, and there was a white, no, it wasn't moving side to side, they were just struggling, and there was a white shit coming out of the seam of the lid and the blender itself, and then it popped and hit the ceiling, and it was a recessed ceiling right in front of the right near the kitchen on I can't remember the street in Roseville. Anyways, and it hit the ceiling, and this white soup went over the fucking counter, and I'm like, what the fuck? I knew it was a gas, okay, immediately. And then it changed back into water underneath a huge layer of soap. And I'm like, motherfucker, I found it, all right? I knew exactly what I had at the exact time. And I knew that getting all that soap out of water would bring Peachy back into perfect health, okay? And it did. I blended tuna fish and water, and Peachy, a write-off 17-year-old terminally ill cat, lapped herself into perfect health for an additional 2 years until my mother reintroduced water that didn't have the soap blended out of it, all the toxins. It was toxic. It's what we drink and making people sick. And Peachy was dead within 30 days from congestive heart failure. She was fucked up. I fucked up on my uncle, all right, Bob, my good uncle. I brought him back from being obese and having 6 precancerous breast tumors and type 2 diabetes and losing 74 pounds, 6 precancerous breast tumors gone in 4 months, and type 2 diabetes was gone within a week, right? And we got into a verbal argument, and I said, you know what? If it wasn't for me, your fat ass would be fucking dead, okay? And I left, and we didn't talk for a long time, and I found out that his system was shocked and put him in a hospital, and he almost died, and he thought that it was a Stevia, so he stopped on it, okay? What it was is I wasn't making pure H2O for him, even though I had showed him how to do it himself, and he's dead. Another example of the reintroduction of that white shit that floats on top of water when you blend stevia being all bad, no good, okay? It's all the warning, danger, caution, toxic. You can't buy something at the store that you can pour down the sink and the drain that wouldn't kill you or make you sick, okay? But we're pouring it back into our water supply like we are fluoride toothpaste. Fact, not fiction. We have more fluoride in our water now than the Jews had pre-World War II when the Germans dumbed them down to be led like cattle into trains and led off to death camps, gas chambers, okay, and not fight back, all right? They put fluoride into our water, and we spit fluoride back into our water from toothpaste that they sell us to use, all right? Fluoride being good for you, okay? Fluoride doesn't do shit for teeth, all right? Except too much fluoride makes them brown. I remember this beautiful woman, a girl at Notre Dame from Texas, probably the prettiest girl at Notre Dame, and her teeth were brown because the water she was drinking in her Texas town had way too much fluoride, and it's no good. It dumbs you down, and the rich are actually making money off us dosing ourselves by spitting toothpaste down the sink and back into the water supply, okay? So I'm at 1 hour and 2 minutes. I'm going to wrap it up. 760-809-1744. That's to Snubs, to Spider, and to every convict that's out there. Find me a cancer victim that's dying, preferably dying. See, here's the deal. Most people with cancer are so, they bought in so much to Western medicine that they're going to give their bodies to chemotherapy and to cutting. They're not going to try something alternative because it's new. And most people are too stupid to fucking realize that the chances of surviving cancer without cutting and chemotherapy aren't good, all right? And the chemo and the cutting fuck people up, and their level of life, their quality of life, isn't nearly what it should be, all right? So I'm thinking that somebody terminally ill would be much more apt, much more ready to embrace stevia and do nothing but drink pure H2O, very, very sweet pure H2O all day long into perfect health, okay? That will happen with or without your help, 59J, all right? With it, I'm getting you a house, a car, and $100,000 just for doing that, okay? But once that happened, you could actually spread the word among the gente, the people, both black, white, Mexican, all right? The convicts that you touch in your videos. And they can start getting excited because there's going to be jobs for them that pay fucking bomb wages, all right? I haven't figured it out yet, but we'll how hard can it be? you know, profit from pure H2O is going to eventually be over $1 billion a day. There's how many billion people in the world? Way too many. And word will spread that pure H2O acts like the fountain of youth. It'll catch on. It'll become the most sought after, popular drink on the planet. And it's mine. And I'm going to make a lot of money off it. And what I'm going to do is pay 90 to 95%. I mean, how much is enough? You know, the rich don't have any concept of enough. You know what I'm saying? And the poor, they know damn well what enough is, and they don't have it. Okay? I'm going to fucking bridge that gap. And what I'm going to do is probably try to get the color of money changed. A good idea from my Uncle Fred. Change it to another color. And then what we'll do is we'll turn in all the money that we have for new money. And that will bring billions and trillions of dollars that are fucking sacked away in secret accounts from the rich. Okay? It'll bring it out, because if they don't do it by a certain date, all right, it's going to be no good. And we'll catch a lot of people by doing that. Change the color of money. And start companies that pay 90 to 95% of profit back to the workers who made it. It makes sense, but it's not happening because the rich are evil and don't give a fuck and want to keep people down. And that's part of the game. And what I'm going to do is, on video, on television, I'm going to hunt down fucking bad people as I'm doing good. I'm going to hunt down bad people, and I'm going to fucking make them pay, okay? That's my gig. I've been looking forward to it for years, and I'm going to be good at it, especially with all the friends that I have. I bridge the gap. I'm a would-be 5-star general. Ernie said that he was 5-star. And I have 5-star friends like Spider and Snubs. And I'm a conduit between the blacks, the Mexicans, and whatever white they decide to fucking be a point man. I generally don't get along with most whites for some reason. I get along better with blacks and Mexicans. Am I changing race? After knocking Taz out, if I got sent back to the pen, would I have to worry about getting stabbed in the back? I know they wouldn't come in the front because they'd be afraid of getting fucked up, but would I have to worry about getting stabbed because I knocked Taz out on a level 4 yard? Do I have anything to worry about from the Mexicans because their cells were searched and they found 12 to 14 knives, and I'm sure they caught a little extra time for every knife that was found? No, I'm not responsible for that. Okay, Taz should have had a minder watching his knife, making sure that it was taken from the battle to the toilet and flushed. He didn't have it, and Bryce Peeler did. Bryce flushed his knife, but after they found Taz's, they went into Bryce's. I think they found Bryce's too, if I'm not mistaken. Anyhow, yeah. And to those people out there that think about doing me any harm, know this. I've talked to a Russian fucking boss when I was locked up, and I asked him, I said this: I heard that you guys would kill everybody in the family of somebody that fucked you guys over, okay? And I'm not sure what his response was, but I asked him this. I said, if somebody killed me and there was enough money behind it, would you do everybody in their family, okay? And he was like, money talks, okay? And that was about the extent of it. But that was, to me, a yes. And my sons are going to have billions of dollars at their disposal. My grandson, Ollie, will have billions of dollars at his disposal. And I want them to follow in my footsteps and paying it forward. And I want them, and I've already talked to them about it, and I haven't got a definitive answer, But if somebody were to assassinate me, I want somebody to fucking do everybody in their family to the vagos. Yeah, I know you guys don't have a problem with me now, but having, what was the dude's name that was telling me that he's so-and-so from fucking Yuba City as, what, 6+ guys tried to beat on me? You know what? I didn't throw punches. I got on my back and started blocking punches. They didn't bust a grape on me. And you know what? I didn't fucking do Crazy Joe wrong. He did me wrong. I'm the one that fucking gave him the money for that fucking car, for the engine. Okay, if it wasn't for me, that fucking Mazda 19.9 would never have run. The only reason why I did it is because I wanted to buy that car, and after he fucking got jumped, after I got jumped, okay, that car became mine. Fact, not fiction. Yeah, just keep in mind, you know what? You're all one big family. So, Dan Quinn shouldn't be in the radar. It's too dangerous for you. Anyhow, I'm at 1 hour and 11 minutes. I'm going to wrap it up. 760-809-1744. I'm going to become a billionaire with or without your help. Okay? With it, when I'm a billionaire, I'll give you a house, a car, and $100,000. Without it, you will forever kick yourself in the ass for not asking all your friends and relatives if they know somebody dying of cancer. Okay? So you could get in on this car before it takes off.